Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Zones 33-34 Public Image webinar. This is our first webinar of the year. Meet the Teams is always a really exciting one to sort of kick off the Rotary year and introduce our teams. We are really excited to roll out some awesome resources that we've introduced to you this year and just get you pumped up and motivated for a successful Rotary year. So we're going to get started by introducing our teams for the evening, and we really have a great group here. Most of us, if not all of us, many of you probably already know. We're going to do a little fun twist this evening too and give you a personal insight, a personal peek into our lives. So we're with a personal tip about each one of us as we go through and introduce the team. So we have, starting off, I want to introduce myself. My name's Susan Corder. I'm the Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34. Coming into my second year, as is all of the team of Zone 34, which is really exciting. And I cover, you can see the districts that I cover there, 6890, 6950, and 6960, kind of the Tampa Bay area of Florida and down the southwest coast of Florida. Now, each of the team members on the call tonight, we will share which districts we cover, but keep in mind that we are a team. And so if any of you on the call are in a district other than the ones you see on the team card screen, you can still reach out to any of us. Across Zones 33 and 34, we're one cohesive team here. We all have various talents and strengths that we excel in, but we're also all well qualified, ready, and willing to help you. So keep that in mind. We will have some contact information we'll share at the end of the slide and let you know how to get in, or at the show, and let you know how to get in touch with us. But my fun fact to kick it off is that I have a twin brother. And we have spent every single birthday together. So he's been my best friend since birth, and we haven't missed a birthday. Of course, our birthdays in our 20s were a lot more fun and rowdy than the dinners we go to now. But that's my fun fact. And don't we look a lot alike? There's his picture there. Next, I'd like to introduce Caroline Blocklinger. She's Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinator for sort of the top portion of Florida and over to the northern part of Florida, from basically the Panhandle over to the East Coast and a little bit farther down on the East Coast. And I got to tell you, Caroline is an absolute guru when it comes to web design. Visit elevaterotaryzones33.org, our team public image site. It's got a ton of great resources that Caroline's going to talk about a little bit later. She is a huge mastermind behind what you see up there. And I swear she can read minds, because sometimes when we're talking to Caroline about new things to get on the website, before we even finish speaking our sentence, you go to the website and it's already up there. So thank you, Caroline, for everything that you do. And I think her fun fact is just a little bit funny. Caroline, if you've heard her present before, a lot of times she'll start off her presentation with, "Before I get started, I just want to let you know I talk a little bit funny," because she might have a slight accent. And she did this when she and I presented at the Jacksonville Zone seminar a few weeks ago, and RI President Stephanie Urchik was in the room, and she just said, "Stop right there." She says, "We're in Rotary. We all sound funny. We're from so many different languages and dialects from around the world that we all sound funny to each other. I'm sure I sound like I have an extreme accent to others, but Caroline, we love your presentations and all that you do, so thank you." And speaking of talking funny, I mean, this girl's got an accent too, just a little bit. If you're in a club or district in the state of Georgia in Zone 34, Amanda is your girl. She is your go-to. If you have questions on branding, on Canva, she's a wizard. On communications, Amanda just has so much talent and is so responsive, and she's right there in the middle of handling all of those questions. So she's a really great resource to have, and we're so fortunate that she's on our team. And Amanda's fun fact is that she has read 96 books this year. It's only July, and this statistic was from last week, so she's probably, if not at 100, just a little bit closer to 100. So I think I tried to figure that, and it's just about 2 days, a little more than 2 days to finish a book. So get in touch with her if you know any great authors or great series you want to put on her reading list for the rest of this year. Amanda, we're so fortunate to have you. And Also want to say the man behind the scenes and introduce you to Sean Patty. Every single one of our webinars, you might not see him on camera, but I guarantee he's doing a lot more than I am up here talking or any of us watching. So just huge thanks and gratitude for Sean Patty. And he covers District 7,000, 7020, and 7030. And again, just a tremendous asset to our team. And we're really fortunate to have him as well as everyone in Zone 34. And Sean's fun fact, I haven't vetted just to see if it really meets the four-way test. Is it true? But it's a little inside joke. In his spare bathroom, he has two toilet paper rolls, one going each way, each direction. And I guess it just, trying to meet the psychological approaches of all of his guests that come into his house. I don't know. I tell you, if my kids put the toilet paper roll on the wrong way in the household, there's going to be a riot. It just throws my whole day off. Michael Rostrom unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. He's on daddy duty tonight because his wife is feeling under the weather, so he's got 3 kids running in circles around him. But he's in the southern part of Florida, covers those districts, and the southeast and up the east coast a little bit of the state of Florida. And Michael's been a great asset to our team. He is a very energetic, really great speaker. If you want any energy brought to the room, he's really your guy. And again, we're fortunate to have him coming back in his 3rd year on our team. And his fun fact is that Michael walked the entire length or width of his distance to raise funds for a peace project when he was district governor. So he walked about 185 miles in 8 days to promote this peace project. So, and his energy did not wear out then. He brings it to our team on a regular basis, and we're really fortunate to have him. And like I said, Zones 33 and 34, we're really a cohesive team. Billy Black, Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 33, is going to come up next and introduce her team. But we're really one team. We work together and have really expanded our bandwidth over the last year. So Billy, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell us about the amazing people that are part of 33.
As Susan said, we all work with different districts, and I work with the far west of Zone 33. So that's West Virginia and Western Virginia. And I would be willing to help anybody though. And so would all of our team. So my fun fact, I'm sure some of you have heard me speak before. I am an Air Force brat, and I went to 11 schools before I headed off to Penn State with 1 suitcase. But when it came time for me to do my student teaching, they were flummoxed. They didn't know what to do with me because I didn't have a home base in Pennsylvania. So they sent me off to what else? An Air Force base in the Panama Canal Zone. So that's where I did my student teaching. Moving on. Dawn Rochelle is part of a mother-daughter team. When I was looking to start our Zone 33 team, and I got Dawn on and she was on board, and I had one more, and I said, I'd really like a woman. She said, well, my daughter is available and she's really talented, and gave me a list of things. So Dawn does South Carolina and one little piece of North Carolina. So if you need her, please contact her. And you may have seen, and we'll see coming up, Go College football on Saturdays. You will see Ohio State and Penn State, and they do flips in front of the band. They're called the drum major. And our Dawn Rochelle was a drum major when she was in high school. So Chris Justice is another behind the scenes kind of guy. He is great in front of the camera, but he is finding his forte behind the camera and doing all kinds of weird things for us, making us look good. And he has, from the middle of North Carolina all the way over to 7690, which is almost to the coast of North Carolina. So he's willing to help you there, and he's always sending you great notes. And his fun fact is that he has got, and I'm missing you,
23.
Currently has the 23 high scores in his local arcade. And we were just talking before we came on, he likes Miss Pac-Man. If he only had to have one, but he'd really like more. And Taylor is the other half of the mother-daughter duo. She's probably the youngest assistant RPIC, but she brings lots of excitement and things that I would never even think about. And she's from the coast of North Carolina, and she's the current president of Ending Child Abuse. So she's really got some younger views, and she also has got a really good handle on Canvas. So I'm constantly calling her to say, I just want to move this over just a little bit. How do I do this? And she's always so helpful. So over the past 2 years, Taylor has picked up a camera and is doing digital and manual photography, and she's doing a great job. This is one of her favorite pictures. And then we have Marie Fallon is our brand new member. She's from Pennsylvania and a past district governor, and she does all of the Pennsylvania districts. So she's willing and able to help all of you. She's also very good in Canva and DACDB, so that's a plus. A lot of people need help in DACDB. And Maria's fun fact is that she is has been a Polish dancing in a Polish dancing group since she was young, and is actually an instructor. So if any of you are thinking about coming to our summit, there may be Polish dancing. And last but not least is Hamilton. Hamilton does all of the districts in the middle of our zone. We call it the CPETS guy, because all the CPETS people belong to him. And his fun fact is that his last drum kit ended up with the drummer of a metal band, Quiet Riot, in a whirlwind all cash sale. So that must have been kind of interesting. So that's the Zone 33 team. We're ready to help you any way we can.
Thanks, Billy. And like Billy said, we are here and willing and ready to help you however we can. So please keep in touch with us. And before we move on with our presentation, I would absolutely be remiss if I didn't introduce immediate past Rotary Public Image Coordinator for Zone 34, Marshall Butler, who assumed a new role this past year as Director of Communications for Zones 33 and 34, which is a really important role. It's brand new to the zone, but it's really key as we start to really build and develop and expand our reach and getting those communications out there and getting us really solid communication plan across our zone. He's also chair of the Communication Action Plan, the committee, the group, or the acronym known as CAP. We have CAP, MAP, and FRAP, and Marshall's over CAP, so he's going to tell you all about that in just a minute. But Marshall also gave us a fun fact, and for those of you who know Marshall, he's been doing this project for quite a few years, but he has made it a goal to run every single street in the city of Jacksonville, and he's doing quite an accomplishment here. He's almost 80% of the way done, over 11,000 streets or something like that. It's absolutely amazing. So if you're ever, and I think he started running up in Evanston too. So once he finishes Jacksonville, he's going to be in Evanston so much that he's going to be running every street up there. But if you're around Jacksonville, you might see him if you're driving at 5 o'clock in the morning and in a back road somewhere. So in all seriousness, though, we are so fortunate to have Marshall here tonight. And Marshall, I'm going to ask you to come and talk to us a little bit about the Communications Action Plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Susan, for that introduction. And I am at 5% of all the streets in Evanston right now. So I picked up a couple last week. So working on that. Weather was glorious. So anyway, yeah, quickly about the Communications Action Plan. It's a position that past RI Director Jeremy Hurst created, and Patrick Geeks is continuing to have this in our zones. And so it's really to, as Susan said, help out with communications across our zones. The team really displayed their ability and just amazing energy and productivity a couple of weeks ago when this team absolutely did everything that it needed to be done to get the Hurricane Beryl response out. And so there was a call for an emergency response so clubs and individuals could help support those folks that were impacted by Hurricane Beryl. And I can tell you that this team came together and created a web page, email communication, did everything necessary to make sure that we could support those at their greatest time of need. And so that's just one example of what this Communications Action Plan Committee has been able to accomplish early on. But other top priorities that I want to talk to you about tonight is number one priority, and this is the biggest priority that we have, is you're going to hear a lot tonight about the EPIC Award. And that is the methodology that we created to make being a public image chair very approachable for anyone. So it's very easy to follow this methodology and to build out a public image strategy and tactical plan. And we want more clubs to participate. So this past year, I think about 20% of all clubs across zones 33 and 34 participated in what we call the public image citation. Now it's going to be called the EPIC Award. There's 1,700 clubs across zones 33 and 34. And we know that this is an effective and proven way to tell the story of Rotary in your communities. So one of the number one priorities is to expand the participation in this award this coming year. Number two is to increase the effectiveness of communications from the zone. We know that sometimes it gets a little bit noisy in our inbox, and we are going to work to make sure that we coordinate across the membership team, the foundation team, the public image team, all the different channels that we have in Rotary Zones 33 and 34, so that we can effectively communicate that message that you need to hear when you need to hear it. We know that if we're talking on top of each other, it just becomes noise, and it's not effective, and that's priority number two. Another priority, and thank you to Caroline, Susan referenced this earlier, is that we are upgrading and working on the Rotary Zones 33 and 34 website. And Caroline has done some amazing work to refresh that homepage and to improve some of the navigation. She's had some great support from some additional team members, but thank you, Caroline, for that. That's another priority that we have. But I think the biggest priority, as it ties back to the penetration, the participation in the EPIC Award, is for everyone on this call tonight. If you are a club public image chair, or if you're a district public image chair, it's so critical that you report out on the various websites, on DACDB or My Rotary. Make sure that you list out that you are the club public image chair or the district public image chair for your area in those platforms, because that's how we're going to make sure that we get this message down to all 1,700 clubs. We know that Rotary happens at the club level, and we know that we can be very effective telling that story if we can communicate with those club public image chairs. So I guess the biggest ask for tonight, the call to action for you all, is to make sure that all club public image chairs and district public image chairs report out so that we can communicate with you and help you build out your public image plan for this coming year. Back to you, Susan.
Thanks, Marshall. And we didn't really plan this, but a lot of times at the beginning of a presentation or a seminar, you'll have the speaker outline the bullet points of what we're going to cover for the session. And Marshall, you just did it perfectly, because we're going to expand on all of those things. But really, thank you, Marshall, so much for the great work that you're doing. And I think this is, it's really just brought our teams together, and we're so excited to see how we can continue to facilitate communications across both zones. And it's really just the crucial point is to get down to that club level. So we're kind of going backwards here on this graphic you see on the screen, where I say we have nearly 1,700 Rotary and Rotaract clubs, over 70,000 members, in 29 countries and 4 languages and many different dialects. It's those Rotarians and those clubs at the top that we're really trying to reach. So if you know someone in your club that should be here tonight or could benefit from the upcoming webinars, please pass the information along when you see our communications, but also have them get in touch with us or go to our website, Elevate Rotary Zones 3334.org. We'll get that in the chat for you, and sign up for our communications, because it really is important to carry these messages across the Rotarians. And we're going to be in the same boat next year this time. When all of the leadership changes over again, I'm going to be asking you to do the same thing and give us your chairs. So it's just really important for communications to get to the right people. So one thing I want you to think about as we move into this year, and we touched a lot about branding on our boot camp, but it's really important to protect the Rotary brand. And you hear us talk about the brand at pretty much every single time we're talking, especially at some of our webinars. But having that master brand clear and prevalent on all of your websites, all of your social media channels, your newsletters, all of your communications is really, really crucial. go back and do that July task that Dawn's going to talk about soon, coming up with the EPIC Award, which is the club audit. If you see any of those blue and gold logos, take them down. They're 13 years old, retired now. So take those blue and gold logos down and make sure that you're using this master brand that you see here with the Rotary and the gold logo, and then your club or district signature there where it says zones 33, 34. That's where you identify your club or your district whenever you're using the logo. And it carries our message. It makes us a stronger international organization, and it carries the message of what we do so much more prominently. And I have a graphic here I like to share. We're competing as a charity, we're competing in a service organization, we're competing with so many different nonprofits that are vying for our resources. And not just to say we can't work collaboratively or together with these, but when you think about our potential donors and our sponsors and other resources that are being divided amongst Rotary and other organizations like the amazing ones you see here on the screen, we really have to stand out, right? And so if we're not using a prominent brand, we kind of just get lost. If you look at the wheel here, and then you look at Rotary when you see it on this slide, doesn't it just stand out so much more prominently against the other logos? I mean, it's so important to have our brand so that people see us and they recognize us and they identify that Rotary is the one making a difference. So that's all I'm going to say about branding tonight. Maybe I can't promise that, but we do have a branding webinar coming up in September that you're going to want to make sure you attend. And moving on to a very important topic, I want to bring Dawn back to this, or up to the stage, to talk about our EPIC Award. So Dawn, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, and we want to talk about EPIC because I think we've got an EPIC attendance tonight at 223 participants, which is amazing. All of you could have chosen to be anywhere, and you've chosen to be here tonight. And so thank you. So one of the things that we really want to do is to recognize the excellence that we know that all of you are doing in your community. So we felt like we needed a really cool title, and EPIC it is. So we would love to, in 12 months, be celebrating so many clubs and districts that have achieved all of the following. But we're going to start with the roadmap. And the roadmap in Rotary, many times people take positions, usually in November or December, and you're like, oh, sure, I'll do that starting July 1. And here we are at the end of July. So it's like, what do we do? Well, we've broken it down for you. And on the website that has been created with all of the tools, you really just need to take the next step, the next turn, in Marshall's case, the next road, the next street. And so in July, really, it's laid out for you on our website, which is posted in the chat. And what you're going to do is simply do a public image audit. Well, what does that mean? I actually just did that as a transferring member to my new club. And I looked at what is the email address, who has access to it, what is posted on the Facebook page, is the logo updated, how often is it being posted, how often is the website being updated, and really standing back and taking a perspective of what's happening in the club. If someone wanted to find you, how would they find you? And then simply going through those tasks, you will begin to see what help you need in the club, and that's going to quickly lead you to the August task. Next slide. There's a couple of slides that lay out July and then August. Yep. So our public image audit, we want to make sure that you get that done. You have a little bit of time to do that, but we really want you to get it done now. So we really don't want you to pay attention to that end date. And we're really excited as a team when we see those clubs that have already finished the July task. Some of you have already started the August task and finished it. But we really want you to take time as a club board. You all have club board meetings. You don't have to do it yourself. I think this is one of the ways that we actually get to learn in Rotary. And I think you accepting a role in public image is one of the best professional tasks that you can do for yourself, because there's no organization, there's no business, there's nothing that you lead in life that doesn't really look to how you present yourself in the digital space. So in August, what we want you to be able to do is to take a step back, and we want you to be able to develop a plan. Now, if you're like me, the first time I looked at this, I'm like, well, I've never written a plan like this. I've written plenty of plans, but what actually needs to be in a public image plan? Well, if you look at the task, we actually have that outline for you on Elevate Rotary. And so you can take a look there. But I'll also give you a trick that I did is I actually went back and looked at the AI webinar, and you can actually go to ChatGPT and you can put all the tasks to at least get a framework, and then you can take it to your club and say, who can help me with that? Is there anything else that can be done? Now, nothing in AI takes the place of your brain and your discernment about what happens in your club, but it's a really great way to start the scaffolding of how you're going to develop the public image plan for your club. I would challenge you, and I think the whole team would, that we're really looking for how you do communications over 3 to 5 years, knowing that the tools and the tricks and the tips are going to continue to change. A plan is just that. It's a plan, and it's meant to be revisited. And we hope that you'll complete that earlier in August. And if you need any help from the team, we hope that you'll reach out. So with that, once you've done your audit, you can see what's happening and what's not happening. You've got your plan, and then you want to create your content calendar. There are so many tools available now, and we'll cover those in our months to come in our webinars. And also, again, we have a very robust backlog of videos and help and tricks and tips that you can do. There are so many things now with Meta, with Facebook, with Instagram that you can schedule. And if you've never done that before, it's a great time to learn, because if you literally take 1 day a month, you can get all of your content pretty much scheduled that you want to highlight. And then all you have to do is sort of fill in those immediate things that come up and let people know that you're being very present with your club and with your district with those exciting things that are happening. Because again, one of the greatest things that we can do is to recognize our club members and what we're doing in the space.
Dawn, I want to add something really quick to that. Thank you for presenting those first 3 tasks. In regards to July, August, and September, these first 3 tasks are the foundational task for our EPIC award. That means they are essential to laying the groundwork for the rest of the year. So don't think, oh, I'll put it off and I'll get it done later, and I'll catch up on tasks at the end of the year when I have time. These tasks have deadlines, and in order to qualify for the highest level of the award, the platinum level, you have to complete these tasks. So again, if you need help with any of these, if you want to see what your club, if you're a new PI chair and you want to see if and what your club submitted last year for these tasks, let us know, because we have that on record. But these are so important, and don't think you have to have it 100% perfected. We understand that your content calendar and your plan are going to be adapted throughout the year as you come up with new projects, new fundraisers, and things just change and things come up. So we really want you to get the structure and the framework down now and adapt it throughout the year. But I did want to point out that these tasks are really crucial. They are required for the highest level as the citation, and they do have deadlines. You can go to elevaterotary.org and view all of the tasks. So there's tasks every month from July through April. You can view them all on the citation page of our website, and you can track your status. So if you're not sure halfway through the year which task you completed, if you can't find your confirmation email, you can go to the website and you can see what tasks you have completed and what which ones have not been submitted, and keep up with your tracking that way. You can view each of the tasks, when they will be released, what the parameters of each one are, and then when they're due. So keep that in mind as a resource. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
And I think we're going to move now to Caroline, who's going to talk to you about some of those resources that are available at Elevate Rotary and beyond.
Yes, there's a ton of resources, and in fact, there's even an archive about what was going on last year when you're going to the website. Let me first talk about the calendar, the public image calendar, which you can sync to your telephone or your computer or what have you, so you won't forget whenever the next meeting or webinar is. We also have what you want to check out. Did they say earlier I speak funny? I do speak funny. That's not a joke. Anyway, if you go to the EPIC Award tasks, you should see them under the recognition tab on the website. Just go to the 2024-2025 EPIC Award tasks, and it's all there. You have an outline on it. Now we even have it as a PDF. You can click, you can print it out and have the whole year and stick it to your refrigerator so you won't forget what the next task is all about. Webinars, we have a lot of webinars. We have a lot of recorded webinars. And as we said, for the next, every month, we will have a new webinar coming up. The next one should be really, really exciting, but not as exciting as this one. But then again, each webinar has to be doing better than the previous one. So we're kind of always chasing ourselves to produce the best we can do. Of course, if you can't make it to one of these webinars, don't worry about that, because we have a webinar archive, and you will find that under the useful link tab on the Elevate Rotary Zones 3334.org. The Public Image Toolkit, this is something we're really excited about, and I kind of keep on putting stuff in there. Every time I find something that's really cool, like AI stuff, you will find that in the toolbox. The toolbox, you can find that under, guess where? Useful links on the website. So everything is there. Go in there and just click around, just see. Sometimes you need a shortcut to the brand center because you want to make this logo, or you need this logo. You find the shortcut right there on the public image tool. Now, don't forget about the PI blog. We have a blog that we are publishing probably about once a month. There is a new blog coming out. If we are really feeling lucky, there will be twice a month, because we're having a lot of fun with this blog. You should also find that on the PI blog, kind of obvious. What I also would like to say that we are translating our website. It comes in French, Spanish, or Dutch, depending on what you need. So just click on that and you should see it in your language. Do let us know if there is anything that sounds funny, looks funny, or feels funny. You know, we're pretty new at this language stuff, but stuff, by the way, is my favorite word. It says everything. So anyhow, new, we have the brand design review. You can get a little bit confused about all the logo stuff that we're talking. Here we go again. All the logo things that we're talking about. So again, go to the useful links, go to the club district design review and pop it in and send it to us. We'll be very happy to look at it. Now, the file format that you need is either a JPEG, a PDF, or a PNG file that does not exceed 20 megabytes. So you can actually send us pretty decent files, and one of us will pick it up and help you through so that you're totally brand compliant.
I want to brag on you really quick here, Caroline. This new brand design tool, and Sean was instrumental in helping getting this launch tool. It's a great resource for clubs and districts. If you're about to purchase 100 t-shirts for an event, or print a billboard, or a banner, or signs, or any sort of memorabilia for your club, merchandise for your club, and you're not sure if it's brand compliant, ask us first. Upload your design to this tool, and we'll give you coaching on how to make it brand compliant, or we'll just give you a great pat on the back and say it looks great. So utilize this tool. It's a really cool new feature that we've rolled out.
And remember, our website is a living entity, so to speak. We are changing it constantly. So keep on visiting and keep on coming back, especially to the toolbox. There's a lot of new things changing, everything, the brand design review. And could we have the next slide, please? And talking about cool stuff, we just came up with monthly theme templates. Now, this is really simple. Where can you find it? Let me just tell you, this is, of course, under the useful links. You have tons of information under the useful links. Due to real estate on the top navigation, I can't stick everything on top, so it's easier for you to find as well. So, but just go there, go to the design template app, click on that, and you can then go and find the 12 tasks or the 12 Rotary tasks per year. Now I got lost again, but anyway.
The monthly observances.
Thank you. What would I do without Susan?
We know what you meant.
She has to always kind of catch my back. But at any rate, how do you do that? Very easy. We actually make you go to the brand center and get a ping brand, either a club logo or the district logo, which is really easy because you have a direct link there. Download the ping file and then click on the theme or the app that you like. Let's say you want to talk about July. July is the maternal and child health month. So on top of that, there's step 2. There's a little gray box. You choose a file, choose that logo of yours, and pop. It will be on that particular template. All you do next is you download that template to your machine, upload that to any of the social media, come up with a fancy text. AI is great with putting out these Facebook texts or little something, say something good, and you're ready. That's it. You got your task going. The good thing is, this is not it. We keep on working on it. So we want to make sure you guys are coming back to our website, because we're constantly changing things, lots of exciting stuff coming up. And our goal is to make your life easier and quicker, because being a PI chair can be overwhelming, but not when you're coming to our webinars, because we give you all the tricks and whatever we need. And with that, we'll give the floor back to Susan.
Thanks, Caroline. And I'm like giddy in my seat back here behind my laptop, because we've been working on this. Well, I say we, I mean Sean Patty has been working on this for a really long time, because we've had so many of you ask us, where do we find the monthly theme graphics? Where do we get those? And the only ones that were out there have been floating around for the last 8 or 10 years. And so we've been working on this, Sean has, for a really long time, and we're so excited to have it ready to roll out for this first meeting of our year. It really is as simple as it seems. If you see the graphics there where the zone logo is, your logo will be there for your club or your district. It's just a matter of uploading it and then sharing. And like Caroline says, that's not all. We're going to continue to release new templates for you throughout the year. And if there's anything else you want to see, please continue to let us know, and we'll do our best to deliver on that as soon as possible. But yeah, this really was something exciting for our team to launch. And I know it's a lot of information we've covered in the first 40 minutes of our webinar. So if you have questions, please drop them in the Q&A and we'll try to get to them at the end. And if we don't have enough time, we'll definitely follow up with you afterwards, because we're here to help. We want to be able to answer your questions as much as possible, whether it's tonight on this webinar or moving forward throughout the year. And talking about resources, we're not touching a lot on the Brand Center tonight, because we do have a branding webinar coming up in the future. So there's a lot of resources that Rotary International offers for public image, and we've kind of trying to combine those in a user-friendly format at Elevate Rotary. And one of the things that's coming up we wanted to make you aware of, if you haven't received notification already, is that as of around August 1st, Rotary Showcase is going to be moved over into Service Project Center. This is a service project management platform that Rotary's been using for years, and it's a really great tool for clubs to utilize to manage your projects, to find out what other clubs are doing and let them know about your projects. You can enter your volunteer hours and your funds raised, and there's so much more use of the application that's going to be launched when they move over to the Service Project Center. So look for more information coming soon from our team and from RI with regards to that. Not to worry though, all of the data that you have stored in Rotary Showcase is going to transfer over into Service Project Center. But wanted to be aware, make you aware of that, to keep an eye out for that transition. And if you are new to public image or new to our teams, you might not have participated last year in a couple of competitions. We like a little friendly competition in Rotary. Actually, many Rotarians, in my experience, love, sometimes not so friendly, but we try to keep it that way in competition. We have 2 competitions that we are bringing back this year. The social media cover art competition that's going to launch in just a couple of months, and it goes through November. And we are going to share the winner's graphic on the Zone social media channels. So that cover art will be the cover art for the Zone channels. And we have a ton of followers. And if you're not following us, make sure you do. And you could be featured on the Zone's page, on the Zone's channel. So it's open to you to participate in, and we really want to see a lot of Rotarians and Rotaractors get involved in these competitions. The second one is a lot of fun. It's the People of Action competition. And this one I really enjoy because I love seeing the images, the People of Action images, not those check presentations, but the real powerful images that are telling a really strong story. I love seeing those graphics come through. So we'll have that competition later this year. And just looking forward to recognizing all of those people, those Rotarians and Rotaractors and clubs that participate. And again, you can find information on that at Elevate Rotary. We also are bringing back the District Challenge. So we launched the District Challenge Award last year, and we got some feedback from our district public image chairs that it was really helpful and beneficial to keep them on track. But having this one award that they complete the task and sort of fill in the report at the end of the year was sort of challenging. So we've divided it up very similar to the EPIC Award. And we've issued or launched quarterly tasks. So some of the tasks are mandatory, like the audit. We want the district to audit your district channels, just like we ask the clubs to audit their channels. So look for those old logos, get the old theme down, make sure you're using the presidential theme properly with internal communications only. We want you to take the courses in the Learning Center. So there's a library of courses that you can take as a district public image chair, and other district leaders too, and club public image chairs. But for this district challenge, the DPIC courses are really important to help you succeed this year. Make sure you tell us who your club public image chairs are, right, Marshall? We want to know. And not just the club PI chairs, but all of your leadership chairs, but communicating through the district public image chairs to the clubs. It's crucial that we have that contact information for the club leaders as well. And then we want you on our webinars. So you can check one of those boxes, at least since you're here tonight, but make sure you're tuning into our webinars, or at least watching the recordings throughout the year. And if you go to the website, go to the District Challenge page or the District Award page, you'll see all of the criteria. These are just a couple of the mandatory criterias, but I would love your feedback on how it works out this year as we've broken up the tasks to make it a little bit easier to work through. And we hope to be recognizing all of the districts in zones 33 and 34 next year. So as you meet challenges along the way, let us know how we can help you overcome those. I'll mention it again, like, join, follow, share. We are on a lot of different social media channels, and we just launched a WhatsApp channel, so you can subscribe to our WhatsApp channel. And what we're using this for is pushing content out. So it's not necessarily a two-way communication where we're looking to post and share and get comments. This is where we have important information that we're trying to get out to you. So if you're at a Rotaract club that communicates primarily through WhatsApp, follow this channel or join this channel, and we will be pushing content out to you just as another mechanism to communicate with the clubs and get to the Rotarians and Rotaractors who need to hear this message. And there's that awesome website again, Elevate Rotary Zones 3334.org is your know-all, be-all, end-all. Make sure you have it bookmarked on your browser. And invite us to speak at your club. So this is something that I want to remind you of, especially early on in the year. as you're going to organizing different club meetings and district meetings, assemblies and trainings, conferences next year, if you need someone to talk about storytelling or branding or just give a general public image session on why it's an important component to increase your membership and increase foundation giving. Public image works in synergy with membership and foundation. It's not one or the other and the other. We all work together, and having that cohesive relationship amongst the teams can really enhance the efforts of everyone involved. So invite us to speaking engagements and ask us for materials. We are here to support you, as I think I've said 500 times on the webinar tonight. And then again, have I asked you guys to enter your club officers into My Rotary yet tonight? Because seriously, we want to know who they are. And if you need help navigating that and finding where to enter them, I'm happy to help. But not to make light of it, again, it is a very important part of a successful year. And coming up next month, I got to give a plug to Taylor's webinar. She's going to be leading us on a fundraising reimagined journey. So she's going to talk about some really cool fundraising tools. I think Zephy is one of the applications she's going to be talking about. And if you have a fundraiser coming up, we wanted to try to get this information out to you at the beginning of the Rotary year or close enough to it to where you can implement some of the things that you're going to learn at this webinar as you move forward with your fundraising campaigns and other projects. And so be sure to tune in. We were so happy to have you here tonight, and we hope to see you back for that webinar. You can register after you leave here tonight at our website, Elevate Rotary. And we are trying to stick with the 4th Tuesday of the month for our webinar schedule. So you can go ahead and bookmark that date on your September and October calendars as well. And now with that, I'm going to ask Billy if you could maybe turn us over to some questions that people might have posted in the
Yes.
Q&A.
The first question I'm going to get to a second piece, but the first question is from a Rotaract club. It's anonymous, and they want to know if they can use the RI theme logo on their flyers. You can absolutely use anything that we can use from the brand center, but if it's external, like if you're going to distribute it to the public, the theme logo is not appropriate. The theme logo is to inspire and get people fired up for the new Rotary year. So the magic of Rotary is for your bulletin, for internal flyers, but something that you're going to put out to the public, we want you to use the Rotary logo. And I'm hoping that that answered your question. Caroline is going to answer Alicia's question. Caroline, are you prepared?
What was the question again, Alicia?
Somebody wanted to know the email to request what's submitted for the previous year's citation. They want a copy of that.
Okay, what you can do is you can go to elevaterotary.org, Elevate Rotary Zone 3334.org, and then go to recognitions. All the way on the bottom, there is a citation time machine. And in that time machine, you will see the results that were from last year and even the one from the prior year. All you do there is you click, you select your name, or the easy way will be if you have Control F and you just put your club name in there, and it should pop up.
Okay, and thank you, Colleen. Colleen, oh, geez, thank you.
Caroline.
Caroline. Mark
Billy's talking funny now.
You talk funny.
I'm talking funny. I do talk funny.
Well, I know I got the new name. It's Colleen now.
Colleen,
Yeah.
going worse.
Thought that was a little sexier.
Wow.
Oh dear. Mark Daniels trying to figure out where on the site he sees the calendar and the action, but where is the place on the site to complete and submit? Can you describe it?
Yeah, basically what you do is you go to the task, and inside the task you have a green button that says complete. Let me see what exactly it says.
So to get to the task, though, I think maybe the first step would be to go just click the URL that's in the chat. So that'll take you to the citation page. And then once you find the citations, you'll see a grid. You'd click on July. So each month has a hyperlink as the tasks are open, and you just click on the month.
Right. There is another way to access that from the homepage. If you scroll down the homepage, the tasks should be there as a picture, and you just click on that and then just follow the lead.
He says he found it. So
Yeah.
I
Right
guess
to the
just follow
homepage.
along. Okay, that's it for the questions. We were answering them furiously during the webinar.
Yeah, I think I probably, I do click wrong buttons once in a while, actually very often. And I think I may have clicked the wrong button because somebody has asked about the funds, the official Rotary funds. That would be Frutinger, or then Sentinel is the secondary fund. You can also go with the free options, which would be Open Sans Condensed. And then the secondary fund will be a Georgia. I hope to answer that question.
And
There
we
we go.
do have a webinar in our webinar archive that talks about how to set your brand kit up in Canva. So you can go back and resource that. And we'll hold another Canva webinar later this year too, to talk about some of the really cool tools that they've launched since we did our last webinar. Any other questions? If you want to
Renee
raise your hand, we
Williams.
can.
Yeah, Renee Williams would like us to go over the magic of Rotary guidelines one last time.
Okay, certainly. So as with any presidential theme, it is for internal communications. And when you download the theme, there's also a link to download the guidelines. You can download the whole package, which comes with the logos and the guidelines, and it will explain to you proper usage. For example, you should not be using the magic of Rotary as your social media profile picture or on your social media channels. You can use it on an internal newsletter that goes out to your members. You should not be using it on your website that's external facing as the header that people who are non-Rotarians coming to your website will see that logo. We want to keep that logo internal and really carry on the president's message throughout our clubs and our membership base only, and let that master brand, so add your club signature, your district signature to the master brand, let that be our external facing logo. That's what we want to promote as our brand to the external audience.
The brand guides are actually available on the toolkit. That's the first thing you see. And please, when you open it and when you download it, it's written a little bit small, but there is actually explanation on it where and how you can use the presidential theme logo. And
check out our chat. You can scroll back up through it and basically get a synopsis of all the links and resources we talked about, because Sean's been doing a great job of dropping them there for quick access as well. But like Caroline said, and we've talked about, these resources, many of them are in the toolbox on our website. So we can't emphasize that enough. Any other questions?
Yeah, Shikar asks, so we should not use the international and district themes on social media posts. Sure, we can use the monthly themes. That's really cool. If you're looking for peace and for things to do with peace or clean water, come to Rotary, join Rotary. So absolutely use those, just not the magic of Rotary.
And always, always, always use your district or club logo. If you're a club promoting something, always use your club logo in the branding. Don't use just the wheel by itself, or don't use the theme. Just always make sure you identify your club on a project. You want credit for the great work that you do, and you want people to know how to find you. So make sure they know that there's a Rotary Club in your area by using that signature line on the brand, on the brand center template for the logo.
And guess what? The logo is so easy to generate on the brand center that even I think I must be responsible for at least 50 clicks on the brand center, because instead of looking for it on my computer, I just go to the brand center, I download whatever I need. It's so much easier, and it's about 5 seconds. That's it.
Don't ever Google it and download it from there. Well, thanks again, everyone. I think, Billy, if we don't have any more questions, does the team have any last minute comments before we wrap up? Amanda's got to go read her book. Marshall's got to put on his tennis shoes and start running. And I know Chris is going to go play some arcade games. So thanks, everyone. Have a really great evening. And we'll see you back next month for our August webinar.